Hey everybody, it's Small GK. It's daylight savings time, and it's getting late, and I keep forgetting something. This is like the third time I've done this vlog, but whenever they get this long and convoluted, they always end up good. There's Archie. There's Archie Bunker. The book that the Fag Stag is recommending that you all read is Deconstructing Obama by Jack Cashill. I'm sorry I didn't have Mr. Cashill's name on the last couple of vlogs. You know, I'm not a professional. I'm just an ordinary guy, just chatting away. And my vlogs are not news vlogs. They're just opinion and life vlogs, and cultural chat, and just light, fun stuff. So, don't. You'll have to forgive me if at times I'm not as professional as some of the other vloggers and bloggers out there. I have this off-the-cuff style, and I don't know. I'm inspired by Warhol, among others. My whole thing is to have a conversational sense of fun in the now with my vlogs, and because if I don't do that, I will never do them. They'll never get done. And this way, I can be really prolific and respond to things really quickly, and not get hung up on errors, because I've noticed practically every one of my vlogs has an error. It's really, really sad, but that's life, baby. So anyway, the Fag Stag's reading Deconstructing Obama, and we were talking about Archie Bunker, and I was telling him, about how to understand Obama, you have to understand the 1960s and the radicals that created and inspired Obama, and specifically Bill Ayers, of course. But although Bernardine Dohrn was the drive there, I mean, Bernardine Dohrn wore the pants, but Bill Ayers did write. He did do the writing. So that's where it comes into Deconstructing Obama. But I was telling him about how in the United States, the Weather Underground, in Europe, the Red Army faction, how they were so disillusioned in the late 60s, early 70s, that the working class did not want to join them, did not want to be led by them into revolution, but instead supported the United States, supported capitalism, supported the church, just like now. And isn't it funny? They were right then and they're right now. I mean, they're just really consistent, the working class, of which I'm a member, sort of, I guess. And how the liberals responded with Archie Bunker. Prior to Archie Bunker, depictions of white working class men in America were very heroic. They were very 1930s, like muscle-bound, heroic everymen with shovels and pickaxes and drills. The great American worker. Or else they were like Henry Fonda. Henry Fonda in Grapes of Wrath. That was the image. These, downtrodden but noble men. But after they refused to join in the elite-led revolution, they were demonized. And the main source of this demonization was Archie Bunker, who was a total liberal propaganda creation that mocked conservatism, conservative values. It made working class conservatives look stupid, uneducated, provincial. Sounds sort of like Ron Schiller, like Lunch with Ron Schiller, doesn't it? That's in large part because of the social engineering overseen by Norman Lear for CBS with the creation of Archie Bunker. Now, in fairness to Mr. Lear, he was sort of the the Jon Stewart of his time, and that he did give passing parody of the left as well. I mean, there was Meathead, who could be seen as very sanctimonious at times, although ultimately, good-hearted, and he was fighting the good fight. And Maude, likewise. I mean, he would parody Maude that she was rich and that she had a black maid. But beyond that, Maude was right on. Remember, she was right on, Maude. That was a Janet Napolitano before the fact. Elena Kagan before the fact. Anyway, Archie, on the other hand, while at times lovable, was lovable in spite of himself, and he was a total moron and a total bigot. And this was seen as the product of his complete lack of education. So there you go. Have stereotype will travel. Back to deconstructing, but anyway, okay, I'm sorry. So Jack Cashill, here I am talking about him to the fact check, and then Jack Cashill brings up Archie Bunker. This week in a radio interview, go to deconstructingobama.com. There's a list of all of his radio and television appearances. But I was so excited to hear Cashill also remark on Archie Bunker, about how that was what the liberals were pushing in the 70s as their programs were going up in flames, sometimes literally. Interesting stuff. So, yeah, he says, the fact check tells me that the most damning thing in deconstructing Obama is, because, the thesis is that Bill Ayers wrote the Obama biographies, the memoirs. And he says the most damning thing is the nautical references. That apparently Bill Ayers is a seaman who's traveled around the world in boats, and he knows nautical references, and his writing is filled with nautical references. And Obama has never done that. And yet both of his books have nautical references that are very similar to Bill Ayers' nautical references. It'll be interesting to see if Obama writes another book and if there are nautical references. So anyway, I thought that was pretty darn nautical and interesting. Elsewhere in the news, that horrible guy from Family Guy, cultural stuff, that horrible guy from Family Guy, one of the writers, said that if you feel bad for Japan, think about the numbers of deaths at Pearl Harbor. I mean, it's just offensive on every level. And you know something? This is what liberals think that conservatives think like. They have no idea that conservatives are really upset about Japan, and pray for the people there. They can't imagine it. They just see us again as Archie Bunker, who don't know what Japan is and wouldn't care if they all died because they're not our skin color. Something, again, really self-aggrandizing and malicious is how they would think about it. So they can say these things, and they have no idea that people on all sides are offended by them. Another one who does that is Bill Maher. Bill Maher went after the Koran this week. I just think, and now they're like he's in trouble. I just think that Bill Maher is Charlie Sheen waiting to happen. He's the next Charlie Sheen waiting to happen, and he's going to have eventually a very public marijuana meltdown at some point publicly. That's my prediction, because I think he's just a Charlie Sheen who just hasn't gotten to that point yet. Kathy Griffin, another hideous grotesque, is still going after Sarah Palin. I talked to my dad tonight about that poll in New Jersey that everyone's talking about how Mitt Romney beat, what's his name, my fatty, Chris Christie, and that Sarah Palin was in third. Of course, they don't mention the fact that I think Romney just beat Christie by 2 points, and that Christie beat Palin by 1 point. So even Palin and Romney are separated by like 3 or 4 points. It's like all within the margin of error. In other words, we got a 3-way tie cooking, at least in New Jersey. And I think it's going to be those three with maybe a little Huckabee as action as the dark horse. But Huckabee keeps sticking his foot in his mouth, You just gotta love him. He's getting the coverage though, and apparently his book is opening strong. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I gotta wrap it up. I think I got most of my points in that I wanted to get in this vlog. You know, Boy the Way Glenn Miller played. Songs that made the hit parade. All that nonsense. Anyway, fight back, Archies. Archie Bunkers of the world unite. Small GK signing out.